Welcome to GameBreakers. My name's Thomas. I am here with, everybody say your names together.
Diamond.
That'll do. Allison and Diamond. No David tonight due to some technical sadness in his ISP's service area. We won't call out any company names or anything, but shape up. You know who you are. We're looking at you. So tonight, we are jumping back in with Struana. Diamond has been serving at the North Star Quest Camp for Girls, which is an amazing cause. Hey, Diamond, how do people donate to that?
NorthstarQuestCamp.org. You can donate. We have a link on our website, and it would be donating through the Ink People Center for the Arts. It is a Dream Maker program for the Ink People through the Ink People Center for the Arts. So they are the umbrella that does all the paperwork so that we can worry about actually running the camp. And it has been going since '96. It's not exactly a new thing. But yeah, I just spent 2 weeks there. It was amazing.
Fantastic.
And we and we never, it's first come, first serve. We never turn a girl away because she or her family can't afford to go to camp. So we fundraise year round to make sure that any girl who wants to go to camp can. So any time that you are seeing this, does not have to be in the summer. You can throw $20 our way, throw $5 our way, and that helps some girl be able to go to camp.
That's amazing. So, you had a good reason for being gone, so we didn't kick you out of the campaign. Plus, we kind of named it after your character, and that would get weird. But
just have a different part.
Have some adventures without you. So we'll rewind from the time you were right that we cut on your part of the campaign. Let's rewind about a day and a half to what I assume will be the first time you see Stan after the events of the previous 2 episodes.
Okay.
Stan, where do you meet Struana?
If it's about a day and a half ago, I am in the library.
Where would I meet Struana? I would go to the library. And am I coming directly off of this druiding adventure?
I don't know how much time you would take. It's up to you.
I don't know. We had a very we had a good victory, and killed some undead and destroyed some evil altars. So he would definitely be drinking.
And CliqClaq was asked, because David can't be there. CliqClaq was asked to remain at Hyperion in order to help clear out the rest of what's there and generally aid in the repairs.
Hyperion being the giant tree.
Hyperion being the giant tree.
The giant tree of giant trees.
The giantest tree.
Never was.
So you have dragged Struana out of the library to go drinking with you in the Dwarven district. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, although I will, however, probably there will be a few rounds of drinking before I get to Struana, and then I will have rested so that we joked about maximum stan in the last fight because of the colossal size that he got, but also I used every single spell slot. That was all of it. All the stan that could be. So I will have rested to get back because that sucked. So yeah, that would be, and then I would come for maybe the second round of revelry for such a grand quest of undead slime.
It was a mighty victory. All right, Struana. So you are in a bar deep, probably in the Dwarven district. You were going for a highfalutin carousing as your downtime, if I remember right.
Oh yeah.
So the deeper, the wealthier. Struana, what have you been doing up to this point?
So this is a day and a half before the performances. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Studying, practicing, studying and practicing.
Like
practicing
half listening to Stan while you're redoing notes and stuff.
Like nervously twitching and forgetting to eat, and then Stan puts a beer in front of my face. I'm like, oh, hey, I like that.
And then I smashed it with my hammer. That's how a lot of those stories go.
Yeah.
I just was saying there was a dramatic death. My elk died temporarily by touching a death altar and getting its soul sucked out. And it did it for me so that Stan wouldn't die because it saw that Stan was not noticing that pattern of things touching it and dying.
I feel like you need a round song. Like, what would Stan smash with this hammer? What would Stan smash with this hammer? You know? You
Stan would smash that thing.
Yeah.
He's going to teach that when he gets asked to speak at the Dwarven elementary school or whatever. He's a local hero. They'll bring him into classrooms. Yeah, it'll be a great song.
So how do you tell the story, Stan? What are the highlights for you?
The druid got an assignment and to investigate something going on in the woods, and we found the biggest tree I've ever seen being attacked by zombies. I didn't even know zombies liked trees. And there was a gigantic windstorm around it, and there are these large zombies that were vomiting smaller zombies on the other side of the storm. And there's a lot of druid magic and wind and stuff, and there were green lasers. I take it back. You probably wouldn't use the word lasers. There was green beams of light. I suspect fairies. And we took the airship, and I took it. I jumped out, and I didn't realize CliqClaq had a parachute, so we gave him that before I did. So that was nice. I didn't have to figure it out on the way down, which was the plan. And then I landed on I summoned my steed, landed on my elk, and then I took. And so I have argued about this in bars for the last couple days. They tell me that it is not possible that I drank 4 potions of growth and grew to colossal size, and yet I did by the power of Morden. And he'll show. He's like, you see, this is the argument I got in last night about that with the unhappy wizard. And then I got to smash a lot of zombies, and we saved the tree. Oh, and then we went to the altar, found the altar where the necromancer was, and smashed that guy.
Smashing zombies till their brain splat. Smashing zombies till their brain splat. Smashing zombies till their brain splat.
And then the next round of beers shows up.
And then clean the hammer off. I don't know. Do you clean your hammer between splatting?
I do.
Okay, then that works. You got a motion there. Definitely teach that to small children.
You also repped Hezrig. Your giant, colossal billboard size. Hezrig did this.
But was that with this particular spell? I can't recall now.
That was the invulnerability on the armor. It makes the logo blaze, and since you were 200-something feet from a hoof to helmet, that was.
You were a billboard. Yeah. That works out well for you.
All of those sentient undead know exactly where you got that armor.
So, did you say there were zombies vomiting other zombies?
Yeah, there were these giant, 60-foot, I believe it was, zombies that were, because the smaller ones were getting swept up in the storm, and so I guess on the other side they swallowed a bunch of zombies, walked through the storm, and then vomited them up so that they could attack the tree. And it was pretty gross to watch. I did.
Have I ever heard of anything like this, Thomas?
Give me a knowledge religion check.
I can do that.
And a knowledge arcana check, now that you've heard some of the highlights. Do you feature Ishka at all in the storytelling?
No, not really.
8 for the religion and 17 for the arcana.
I guess he would have mentioned them in the beginning, but he wasn't really present for any of what they were doing. So
right. You just got to charge over a field of lava on the way.
And the druids did some stuff. I don't know.
Right.
It was important, but I don't know what it was.
Well, in that case, that's your rolls. For the Arcana check, it must have been a divine hand. No, potions don't work like that. No, internet, potions don't work like that, and I know that. Also, the method that you were talking about would require sentient undead, so they probably weren't zombies. They were something more powerful. Whites, most likely, like you faced in the swamp.
So where... Oh, go ahead.
Came up middling as far as some of what was going on. Clearly, there was a necromancer at play, which would be of interest to the tower because that's forbidden.
Can I tell her how we killed the necromancer?
Yes.
Necromancer.
The necromancer was trying to escape fire by hiding in a portable hole that it had brought. And then the druid who turned into a dragon, by the way, that was her form. It was an obsidian dragon, and she went and just roared a bunch of lava into that hole in the ground.
What kind of roll do I need to make?
Arcana would also do.
Nature or Arcana? Well, I'm gonna go with Arcana since I have slightly more luck with them.
Get you each slightly different information.
Okay.
You're a jack of all trades.
It's good to be me sometimes. So a 22 for the Arcana and a 14 for the Nature.
Okay. You know that there's no such damn thing as an obsidian dragon. What the hell is that? There's chromatic, there's metallic, there's other lesser dragons, but an actual dragon made of obsidian is ridiculous. You also know that
I'm definitely going to question Stan about that with the you said obsidian. Are you being fancy with words? Because it's not a thing you normally do. You mean a black dragon?
Nope, definitely obsidian, and the lava breathing was definitely real. That necromancer definitely knows that that lava was real.
Breathing lava is also not a breath weapon that is traditional to dragons. You do also know that the druid shape change spell does require that it be a creature that you have seen.
I feel like I gotta ask some druids some questions now.
Yup.
Would that be... I wonder if that's extra planar.
Right. So the druid breathed the lava in, by the way, which hurt it, but Stan then just clobbered the bejesus out of it with his colossal hammer while it was in the hole as well. And that was the last peep you ever heard of it.
Yeah, because if something doesn't die upon being breathed upon with lava, yeah, it requires much more stopping, I guess.
We will cut briefly to a scene at the top of a tree in a conference chamber as Ishka is recounting some of what happened, and he pulls out the bag of holding and said, "The necromancer should be shh," and all that falls out is obsidian glass. Hardened lava, no body. Tink, back to the scene.
What turned into? I mean, shiny. I mean, was it sharp? I mean,
Yeah.
Like
It's from the lava that was breathed into the
no, I mean, like, I'm still, Struana is still imagining a obsidian dragon, and that's just very exciting. Oh.
Uncle Bucklepin may be fascinated. It occurs to you
Yes.
because of your bond.
It is one of the many things that has occurred to me in the last several moments.
Did you have any other questions for Stan before we begin your recital scene?
Did you get any good loot?
No, not really.
Oh. But valor and glory, and apparently, like, a divine intervention moment, like, your god likes you.
I was like 80 feet tall.
That is...
And my steed also grew, which was good because I was sitting on it, and that would have worked out poorly had it not. But it also grew to colossal size. So there's a lot of hoof marks on the across the forest-scape, which I bet will turn into, some of them will turn into ponds, and then there will just be some
A living testament forever to your charge.
Absolutely the makings of the legend, and I'm gonna write it. But Stan, like, I'm really glad you didn't stay that size, because I don't think we could afford to get you drunk.
right.
Right. Not unless you equipped the beer first and then it grew with you. And min-max your
Next
drinking. So better yet, give somebody else the potion and the beer, grow them, and then you drink the... Anyway.
There's options.
Right. Right, I guess being Maximum Stan was its own reward from that situation. It's only been, less than 24 hours. There may yet be accolades and other attention that is drawn to you then.
I feel like I should write a, the beginning of a legend. Very Paul Bunyan-esque.
Are you going to rework your set list?
I don't know, because I'm going with Land Shark. Savior of the Gnome. Because Land Shark and the Curse and using what you got is its own kind of reward story. But I totally have I need to write a series of couplets or something. Stan definitely inspires the kind of ballads that you would expect in grade school, but then for the rest of your life forever. You're Americana, Stan.
All right, then. We will fast forward through the rest of the day and a half as Stan goes carousing.
Good stories and arguments.
Right. He made a few friends that we detailed a few sessions back in the downtime. He's probably following up with that. While Struana, you are in the final throes of the most important exam you've ever had in your life.
Yep. Yes. That is in fact the case. Oh God.
Right. There were several masters present for your graduation exams, but you knew them all. They had taught you. Those had been your teachers at the academy. This is not the case. These are strangers in a crowd whose taste you have an inkling of and that you must impress at all costs. No pressure.
At our last session that involved me, I was also under a lot of stress as a human. So it definitely came across. I watched the episode oh God, I'm just... the whole time. Less stress.
Well, art imitates life. So, the night of. It's the sort of setting, there is a green room and a backstage, but Harridan brings you the final round of gifts for your judges, and suggests that you go mingle and be seen around the crowd.
Very like rutabaga-ing.
He is looking his oldest, wisest, and he's played it up. He's played up his age for this event, by the way. He's like, you can see at some point he expects to be on stage because he's actually like has applied some amount of makeup to like accentuate very specific wrinkles.
Okay.
What are you wearing for the event?
The nicest clothes I have. Like, I think
Did you buy
at
anything
some
special?
in the beginning of this whole thing, there was like I'd specifically purchased like very nice performing in nice place clothes. Essentially, like that was way back then. So essentially pulling those out, making sure they're not moth-eaten or gross or anything, replacing parts and or updating with like effective local Dwarven fashion. Like,
They fit.
What?
You've lost 20 pounds since you bought these.
Probably more than that. So it's taking them in or
Right.
getting them taken in.
It's from the wand.
Or if it's, Dwarven clothes, you could just add a belt. Probably. Get away with a fancy belt. Fancy belt. Look a little like Stevie Nicks. I don't want to look like Stevie Nicks. It's not what she's going for. I just belts and flowy clothes.
Right, got it. So a lot of flowing clothes, despite the fire display.
No, it's going to be very traditional clothes.
Okay.
Very traditional hill dwarf clothes. It is very clear where I come from. This is the like equivalent of wearing oh gosh, regalia.
Yeah. Your tartans and all the clan stuff and your extra bit of something on your bag and all the special things. Okay.
Yeah. Very obvious where it comes from, sort of, but also clearly very nice. If I need to spend time or gold making it prettier, that's okay. Plus, there's like firebirds on my I'm wearing the fire chest piece because it's firebirds on it, and I made it, and it's great. Beautiful.
I did this.
Multi-talented. Yeah.
So, out in the crowd, the moment you had with Sangrid and Brusk comes about. Hi.
Acknowledged.
Harridan is speaking with Jubilee Pedron back by one of the bars. You see a just gorgeously festooned Arakosra that you recognize must be Chalcedony, the purveyor of the feast at Bacchanal Junction.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And she's working the crowd in the interior aisles. I'll move you guys over to a map.
Oh, I like maps.
Social encounter battle map. Go.
They usually mean war, though, so there's that. Oh, that is a
There is, and you'll be able to see who's where, etc. That's also probably going to be their final seats as they're getting settled. Joson Moore is right up at front row in kind of the worst seat. Usually you play to the other side in this circular theater in the round. But he's right by the orchestra pit, like chatting with one of the tech guys downstairs.
Fortunately, I'm a movable bard.
Right. He's barely dressed, by the way. Like he's got basically a jock strap on that's well decorated, like a fashion jock strap.
Jungle Pig.
I guess. Right. An excellent banana hammock. But he is wearing mostly scars and tattoos.
Look.
And he carries an orcish war lute, which is basically an axe with strings.
Yeah, I
he also carries
that'll
multiple other blades and very, very proudly displays 2 scimitars. Also in the crowd that you've been noted to look for with the gifts, there is Alpero Teneric, having a discussion with a few, it looks like wizard students present. The crowd, incidentally, as it's filing in, goes from several hundreds to almost like you think you might hit the 2,000 mark for the show ticket sales.
At least they're making a dime.
And that is your list of masters, the people with gifts coming, I believe. Let me double check if I make sure I didn't miss any. Oh, Morgaine the Tall. And she is looking regal and a little icy. She's kind of the most aloof of the bunch. Everybody wants to be around Chalcedony. Do you want to give me an insight check on the crowd as well?
Sure. Sure beans. 24.
24.
I have a +9 to insight.
Yes, you do. So insight is also kind of reading the movement and tone of crowds, and you can see that in much the way that Chalcedony has groups of both social sycophants, challengers, and people who are attempting to get her notice. There's another person in the crowd with a similar effect, and that is a massive half-dragon woman, just rippling with muscle and scales. Not a dragonborn. You can tell the difference. This is a half-dragon. This is a bronze half-dragon. And
who's that?
With a pretty easy history check, and Stan in the crowd is also there. You will notice right away that this is Baroness Marshal Avroline Deluxe, the Lady of the Gate. She runs the Marshal Quarter. She is the general of the armies. She is the high commander of all things military. And she is accompanied by just the most beautiful creature you've ever seen. Sort of androgynous features and just oozing with just seduction all around her. This would be a tougher history check if you wanted to maybe recognize this personage.
I can try that. That's a 16.
Good job, Stan.
We
Solid.
we both rolled 8s. I just have a +8.
Right. If it was athletics, the tables would have been turned. But This is Desiree, and she is the high cleric in the city for the goddess of fertility.
I know it's not Mara, but I'm writing High Cleric of Mara because I'll know who the heck we mean.
And while currently she's attending to the Baroness, as things go on, it's clear that she's actually there with Chalcedony, which I realize now that I'm going to have to say over and over for like 3 hours. Chalcedony.
How do you spell it?
It's like the rock. Like the semi-precious gem. Chalcedony.
Oh, okay.
Chalcedony.
I didn't know that's how it was pronounced.
I'm probably wrong. I'm sure
That's okay.
I'm sure the internet.
That's now what it is for the duration of the game. Chalcedony.
Right. Chalcedony Oxtemeron. Because Arakosra are not easy to name. So, those are the personages you see present, and about where they are. What do you do for your gift deliveries?
So, before that, a general, since I was looking at the crowd already anyway, also a general range of, like, apparent wealth in the crowd?
Top end.
Okay. That's not nerve-wracking. Not at all. So I had last session that I was in an interaction with Harridan, and he gave me the gifts, and I didn't know that. It's unclear to me. Am I bribing the queens, or are my peons bribing the queens? It's an important distinction.
In a situation like this, if you're asking Harridan directly, he will counsel you to take the moment to give a sincere gift and interact with them before the performance. Humanizes you a bit.
Okay, well, or at least dwarfizes, I suppose. I am going to do this thing.
All right, and on the way out, he plucks one off, and he's like, "Of course, I got one for me."
Of course, you did. There was a hug last time. That already happened. That happened.
Yes. Yes.
Now we're doing. So I'm just going to go clockwise. So I'm starting down here.
All right. Well, that's actually your friends Sangred and Brosk.
Okay. I'm sorry. I couldn't.
That's all right.
I could zoom in if I really wanted.
In and out.
Right. What about right here?
That is Morgaine the Tall.
Let's start with Morgaine the Tall.
Okay. She sees you coming and just easily breaks off the conversation she's having. Journeyman, how are you?
Well, partially nervous, but grateful for your presence.
Well, you should be concerned. This is an unusual circumstance and may make it difficult to judge objectively.
I think that that's a fair consideration, and I will endeavor to be as honest as I can be.
I like that. Then I'll ask you one question before we start. What makes you so special to Harridan? And she looks like she's gazing right into your soul.
He believes that I will be able to help with an oncoming storm, and that I need the social power that the next level in my profession allows me. He's historically not terribly wrong about these things.
It is his most infuriating trait.
Yeah.
Well then, turn around. Let me see you. Her elven features make it really easy to give you an imperious look. As she sort of looks down at you, is like, holds out her hand. Thank you.
Gift thing with a bow, which is interesting to do when you're short.
Right, something you practice for days.
Yes. To make it look just a little bit graceful, just enough.
Right, it was in your calendar from 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock. Practice the gift bow.
But still charming. Because charming. That's what we're going with. Earn it.
Just take gifts.
What kind of bard I am.
Appreciate it. I'm sure Harridan's chosen out something very thoughtful.
Dry smile of agreement.
And she doesn't even bother to dismiss you, just turns and goes back about her business.
Not terrible. And even if it was, on to the next one. Which is over here. Who's that?
Ping it again for me. That is the Baroness Marshall. At this point, as you approach, Desireen sort of looks and they have some sort of exchange, and Desireen heads over to attend to Chalcedony.
And she is someone I'm intended to give gifts to also, is that correct?
You did not expect her presence. She is the leader of the city's military, of the military of the Republic that serves as the garrison for the city.
So she's not on my list, and she's not someone that Harridan therefore bought a present for in my bag of presents, basically. That is correct?
Correct.
All right.
But
Nice
you may not want to just pass her by.
Yeah, no, but I don't have a physical gift, so it is still a hello.
Right. And as you've started to like go through the crowd as they're coming in and finding their seats, they see the gifts that you're bringing, and some of the more like, the ones you would expect to see at the theater sort of give a knowing look and like, oh, that's the journeyman. Oh, there's that must be the bard that we're here to see. Oh, that's Hardjaw. Yeah, that's Dwarven. Peas and carrots, watermelon.
Rhubarb. I don't have to hear it. I just have to keep my shoulders straight.
Okay. Who's the next go to?
What?
Who does the next gift go to?
So I do want to not pass them by, and I do want to greet them.
Okay.
But I need to at least do that in a. So I'm gonna ask who people are on the map so I can make that. Who's this?
That is Chalcedony and Desireen.
Okay. Who's this?
Alpero Teneric.
Okay. And right here is the.
Josun Moore.
I feel like I'm missing someone. Oh, they're back here?
Up at the top, you will find Harridan and Jubal Abhedran.
So I'm actually instead going to be going the other direction then, because I want to make this make some kind of sense. Okay. And I don't want to, it's a jerk thing to show up someone with a bunch of gifts saying, I'm sorry I didn't get you anything. Better if you're after you've given them out. So, over to Mr. Fighting Orc. Rah.
Okay.
Tell me I know a traditional orcish greeting of some sort. Come on.
Give me a history check.
All right.
Unless you speak orc.
I do not. How's 14?
14 will basically get you a basic hello and like not offend.
Yeah, that's that.
Huh. I appreciate the try. You don't have the tusks for it.
You're absolutely correct, but it's worth the effort.
So, You're Harridan's hotshot, huh?
Apparently?
Apparently. Well, you dress up fine.
There's got to be a tartan I can talk about for a second, or, you know, yes, this is my family's tartan. Just a brief moment. I just don't know how that works, but
he's legitimately interested. Like, yeah, well, that's
yeah. Brief, like, a connection with family. This is regalia.
He shows you a scar on his ribcage. Yeah, just like this one.
Oh yeah? Tell me.
Same deal. Clan mark. That one means I'm a man. That one was the first time I killed one. There's a whole lot more, you know.
Well, yeah.
Kind of a life story.
That's impressive. No wonder that's what you're wearing.
So, you got any scars?
It's a little hard to unbelt to get to it, but I have a fantastic one that you're going to hear about later.
Well, if I like it, maybe you show it off later.
Maybe I'd be happy to.
So what do you got for me?
Not entirely sure, but it's absolutely yours.
Right. And with just your passive insight check, like him talking about like seeing scars on your body, that, I mean, there was nothing sexual about that. He was just like,
no, man,
show me that shit. I want to see where you got hurt.
I totally want to show you this thing, but it's like 4 layers down, and I can't do that right now and get to everyone else. So,
right,
yeah.
We could take it off fast, but getting it back on looks like it would take a minute.
Yeah. Dealy Bob with the belt. I don't know who does. It seems it's like a gnome designed this.
Looking forward to the show. Your stage monkey there tells me I shouldn't sit too close.
20 feet. That's the requested range, unless you're, you know, heat resistant.
Well, you know what? I'll start out at 15 just to see what you got.
Your skin.
All right. Next and scene. Next gift.
I need to use the bathroom, Thomas.
All right. We'll take a brief break to attend to biology and let Diamond figure out what she's doing.
Oh my god. Bullshitting.
Thanks for watching GameBreakers. I'll give you a whole spiel about liking and subscribing at the beginning of the next video because it looks like Diamond's about to burst. Have a good game.